it's I could actually show you the basic script. It's pretty much, although it seems like quite a lot of code, it's mostly to do with the OSC receiving, but the control logic to do all kind of gestures and motion controls is really, really simple. So it's a great way to start prototyping Kinect games quickly.
So maybe Janne could switch over and showcase Animate a little bit more, and then we can walk through the features in the program. It's a very small program that basically works as a middleware between the Kinect and the user and the software. It allows you to basically track this all the movement, everything that comes from the Kinect very easily into any program that you want. It's kind of an OSC. We use two protocols. We use MIDI, which is of course for some people is familiar from the music circles. You can basically control synthesizers with the same software. But we actually send OSC, which is Open Sound Control, and we use this protocol to then catch all the data in another program, in any program that supports OSC. In the case of Blender, we've created an open source plugin that allows you to do this very easily, and then you can kind of create these game prototypes within Blender. So this is the program actually. Now what's interesting right now is that because we yesterday got hold of the Leap SDK, I don't know how many developers there are in Finland who have the actual device right now, but we are going to take a look at that, kind of implementing also hand tracking into the program now. Maybe just Janne could maybe give a little showcase of Animate a little bit more in terms of the.
Yeah, so the basics of what we're using in the connected stories is the skeleton tracking, and it just sends the raw joint data directly into Blender and the game engine. In addition to that, we also have what's called the MIDI controller, where you can define specific ranges of motion. For example, for the left hand, from the center to, for example, 50 centimeters, and that you can map directly to a MIDI message that you can send to an audio program or a VJ software or whatever you want. We also have the same messages in OSC. And now, as a quite recent feature, we have these triggers. I don't know if anybody has seen some of these Kinect hacks around the net, where you have these trigger controllers around you, and you can trigger, for example, these music loops. Now you can pretty much instantly create a similar user interface using Animate.
So maybe just showcase the parallax. We have a couple of minutes, so the parallax scrolling and how the scenes are made within the. So what we did, what's happening here is that basically all of the pages in the story are actually just scenes in Blender, and we implemented this kind of basic parallax based on the head tracking of the user. Can you run it actually? Are we able to? Oops. Is it tracking? It's a demo effect. I shouldn't have asked. But anyway, you just saw what it. And Janne just, I asked him how hard it would be to implement this actually again for another story, for example. This is just a prototype, obviously. But to implement this for another story would be a matter of maybe a week or so of doing. This is a. Sorry? Yeah.
Yeah, so Julius can showcase the functionality. So as this is aimed towards children of 3 to perhaps 6-year-olds, the interaction is really, really simple. It's all you have to do is do this looking gesture, and then the game moves forward. But to create a little more of an immersion factor, we also implemented the head tracking, so there's actually a parallax effect which works pretty nicely when you're actually in front of a screen and move your head. So the scene changes accordingly.
Okay, just to wrap up, so we kind of, as a kind of practical example of how you could actually make your own Kinect prototype as easily as possible, we decided to implement this in Blender. We decided to use the tools that we've already created, that we're sharing, which are actually, so Animate is not open source, but the script that allows you to do this in Blender is actually totally open source, so you can hack it, you can do whatever you want with it. People have actually hacked it to use robots, for example. They've created their own. There's a panda robot on our page if you want to do that. But the idea was to kind of showcase how simple it can be to create a good Kinect concept. Now, if somebody is interested in how this works in more specific ways, we actually have a stand there, hopefully soon with power, and that we can showcase to you. And if you're interested in talking about how to use and animate maybe for your concept or so you can actually just come to talk to us. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. And next up, we should be having Jussi, Marin, and Tuomas Paavola. They're the creative director and CTO from UpLause. And UpLause is the world's leader in interactive fan engagement solutions for live events and brands. And this is going to be the last presentation of this session, after which we're going to have a break for maybe an hour.
Hello, hello. So my name is Jussi Marin. I'm the co-founder and the creative director of UpLause. We're just setting up our software here. So the topic is future of fan engagement. Somebody wise once said that life is a game and money is how we keep score. At first, it sounds a bit scary, but when we think about it as our everyday life, gaming is everywhere. We have the air mileage systems, programs, bonus cards, even our school systems have some sort of gaming elements that drives people to get achievements in a way. So in many ways, that's a huge motivation for us. And what we do is we create the core product that we have is voice-activated stadium games. We try to get into different types of sports events, even music festivals, and use the screens that are in these events and create games that the whole crowd can play. And obviously we would sell this to sponsors. But the main motivation is to engage fans and sort of rising up the entertainment level of the events. We've also done in the last 6 months also some social media and mobile apps, which basically are connected to different type of events or sports clubs, etc. But the main idea is that we engage fans in the events and out the events. The company was founded 2009, and so far we've been in roughly 400 events, 13 different countries, and roughly over 4 million people have played our games in different types of environments and events. Just to showcase some of the companies and organizations that we worked with, we've been really lucky to enter some of the big events around the world. Some of them to mention is World Championships basketball. We've been into Formula 1. We've been to Premier League Chelsea game. And also, one more thing to mention is we've also made a co-development project with Rovio, and so we created a Angry Birds crowd game that you can play in any sort of event environment. Obviously, the future for us is that the current situation is that we mainly make voice-activated games. But hopefully in the future, we are aiming to get to motion-activated games and even mobile-activated games. But there are still sort of a few obstacles that need to be that needs to be done before we can actually accomplish these. And also the future, we see that we want to get to the biggest events that there are. One of them being the Super Bowl and obviously the FIFA World Cup. That's the main motivation for us to be everywhere and the biggest events. I think all this might seem a bit confusing. So we feel that for you to really understand what we do is to experience it. And here we basically have the same setup that we have in stadiums or festivals. We have the screens here, we have the crowd. So hopefully this crowd wants to get engaged. So we figured we would showcase a few of our games. We have a mic set up here and our software. So our CTO, Tuomas Paavola, will operate the software, and basically I will run you through what you need to do. So go ahead, Tuomas. So we have two games. The first one here is a game that we did for Turkish Airlines. And the idea is that you maneuver the plane by making noise, and you maneuver it down by being silent. So everybody, ready? Okay. So here we go. Whoa. Good job. We'll try it one more time. You only achieved the classic level, so we'll have to try a bit harder now. Level 2. Okay, let's see. Yes, we achieved the elite level here. Okay, this is one example. We have one more. This might be a bit of a motivation for later on tonight, but just as a few words, I guess everybody has been giving bartenders a hard time at some point, not giving your drinks on time or so on. So we have a tiny bartender game here. Go ahead, Tuomas. The idea is basically the same. You open up the tab by making noise, and when you're silent, the conveyor belt moves. So try to fill up 3 glasses as fast as you can. Uh-oh. Yes, you all have it. You can serve drinks to us later tonight. I guess that's about it for us. We also have a booth out there, and so be happy to talk more one-on-one. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the game.
Can I get a voice? Okay, thank you guys. Now we're going to have a break. We're going to convene back here and continue. Oh God, my voice is gone. We're going to be back here at 3:30 sharp for the second session. Okay, there's lunch still being served over there. There's coffee. There's a big show going on called Slush, like over there. Go check it out. Thank you.